At the very bottom of this video, you're going to see a Google spreadsheet, and I'm just going to walk you through my entire tracking process. I've been up to this for the past 15 months. I've now backtested over 4,014 breakouts. This has completely changed the way that I trade. I'm a lot more confident now. I know the best place to put my take profit and my stop loss. And more than anything, when I sit down at these charts, I no longer feel like I'm gambling, because when I make a decision, I'm making the decision based off of historical data. I've learned more about my strategy and more about my system, and uncovered more setups in the past 15 months than I ever did the prior 5 years. But let's walk through the very first stock that I put on the tracker today, which is FGI. And let's just keep it simple here. This first column is just going to be the date. So typically whenever I sit down at the computer, what I can easily do here is scroll down and just scroll this down like this, and it's going to go to the next date. And then I just simply copy and then I paste that all the way down. That's why you see all of these empty cells here that say August 13th. So we automatically want to get that in there. And then the next thing that I do is I put the ticker. So whenever I sit down at the computer, I typically sit down around 7 a.m. I automatically start going through the top gainers list over here on Webull, and I start putting tickers down that have created breakout levels. And I'll explain that here more in a minute. But this is important because while I'm live trading, I don't necessarily have time to fill out all of this information like breakout level, time the stock broke out, so on and so forth. But what I can easily do is go through and put in the ticker, and then at the end of the day, typically by end of day, always by the end of the week, I go through and I input all of the other information, then connect it to a dashboard and go through the variables to see, okay, how did the week go, so on and so forth. After that, next thing that I put is going to be the breakout level. So let's talk about the breakout level. The first ticker that I had on the tracker today was FGI, and you'll see that the breakout level is 629. If you're going to trade my system, this is so important. And to be completely transparent, most of my one-on-one students that come in, they've watched my YouTube videos, they've actually used my strategies, and it's actually worked for them. But they still feel like they're kind of missing out on some of the setups because they're not 100% confident in setting their breakout levels, and they feel like mine can be a little bit different. I'm going to give you my exact system. I do live trade with my students every single day. So if you're watching this, you trade with over 10K in your account, you want to make sure you're actually trading the exact setups based on the historical data that I have. You can feel free to click the link down below, learn a little bit more, and we'll see if it's a good fit for you. But for the entire process for setting a breakout level, the easy way to think about this is a breakout level is just a level of resistance. And my rules are based on how I wanted to trade. So I never wanted to day trade before 6 a.m. EST. Super early in the morning. I didn't want to wake up there, but I felt confident in being able to sit down at the computer every single day at 6 a.m. So your first rule is whenever you sit down in the morning, whatever time you sit down, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., you should find the 6 a.m. candle. And the reason why I tell you to find the 6 a.m. candle in this situation for FGI, it's right here, is because that's when I used to sit down at the computer. So get rid of all the candles to the right of 6 a.m., just drag that over, and think to yourself, if Andrew sat down at the computer at 6 a.m., what was the obvious level of resistance that this stock was showing? And for FGI, you can see that it made this move in after hours, popped up to 696 and started to get rejected and pulled back here. All right. So the couple rules that you need to know is that if it started moving before 6 a.m., you need to find the local high before 6 a.m. EST. Now, once you've done that and you go to create a level, you have two options. You can either put your breakout level at the top of the wick. Some traders do that. Or for me, in my trading system, based off the historical data and what I talk about on this channel, I use the breakout level as the body of the candle because I'm always looking for specific closes of candles, whether that be on the 5-minute time frame or the 1-minute time frame. So for FGI right here, if we delete that, come right here, set that right there, you can see that the breakout level right here is 629, and that matches exactly what I put over here on my tracker, 6:29 a.m. EST. So what I did when I sat down at the computer was I had an alert set right here at 6:29 a.m. EST. So if a 5-minute candle or if any candle touched that, I would get alerted. So now going into the rest of the day, you can see that the stock starts to climb up, and this candle right here is at 7 a.m. EST, and it breaks above that 629 level. Now, right here, the 5-minute candle closes above that level. And over here on my spreadsheet here, you'll see where it says 5-minute candle close and also time the stock broke out. So the time the stock broke out is the time that this 5-minute candle closed. The easy way to do that is to just put your mouse over the Webull chart. And at the very bottom of your chart, you'll see the exact time the candle closed. And that's going to be 7 a.m. So that's what I put over here on my tracker. Now, the next part is going to be the 5-minute candle close. And the reason why this is so important is because when I first started tracking, I used to always enter. The core part of my strategy was entering at the 5-minute candle close right here. So I need to know the exact price where this 5-minute candle closed, because in reality, that should be my entry if I'm playing the strategy perfectly. And the easy way to do that, up here in the top left-hand corner, you have something that says OHLC, which stands for open, high, low, close. If you made it this far in the video, I know you care about your trading. You want to take it to the next level, and I want to challenge you to go down there and apply for one-on-one training with me right now. I've backtested over 3,900 momentum stock breakouts, tracked over 15 different variables, and I have found 5 setups that have averaged around a 65 to 70% win rate. And I want to show 5 more students those exact setups. I want you to trade live with me every single day, and I want you to stop guessing and actually start making decisions based off historical data. You work hard for your money, which means you don't want to gamble it. If you want to gamble your money, go to the casino. You sit down in front of the charts. You want to make good decisions for yourself and for your family, which means you need the historical data. I'll show you my system. These are going to be one-on-one calls. You'll be working with me directly. So if that sounds beneficial to you, go down there, apply for one-on-one training right now, and I can get you live trading with me ASAP as soon as tomorrow. Talk to you soon. If you put your mouse over this specific candle right here at 7 a.m., you can see that the C right here says 701. So over here on my tracker, I go in and I type in 701. Now the next part is honestly the thing that's made me way more confident in my strategies, and that's going to be tracking the max price the stock reached while I was in quote unquote the trade. So theoretically, let's say I took this trade right here at 7 a.m. and I entered at this candle close and I got filled at 701. If I used a 15% stop loss, then what is the max price that this stock reached while I was in the trade? And Lord knows FGI took off like a rocket today after market open. So right here, a 15% stop loss, that's the first thing that we really want to track out here. So I'll come up here, go to my rectangle, and then just put it right here, this candle close. And then if you drag it down, you'll see a percentage right here in this gray box. You want to drag this down until it represents 15%. So a 15% stop loss that says 15.03 is going to be down here. So you can take a horizontal line, draw that across right here, boom. Let's just make that red for visual purposes. And that's where your stop loss would have been if you'd entered that trade. Now, obviously, this is a trade in pre-market. You wouldn't have been able to set an actual stop loss, but this is where your mental stop loss would have been at down here at 596. Now, as you can see, this stock never came down to 596, which means, guess what? Let's say you didn't put a take profit. You would still be in this trade because this stock has been climbing all day and just hit $19.93. So the max price reached right now while I'm making this video, and it's 12:54 while I'm making this video, would be 19.93. I hit the tab button. And then right here in this next column right here, it says max percentage from 5-minute candle close. This tells me the max percentage gain that I could have got while in this trade. So if I entered right here as soon as this 5-minute candle closed and I sold all the way at the top, this represents a 184% gain. This is so important because when I connect this to my dashboard, what I'm able to do is I'm able to compare take profits. If a stock runs for over 15%, then it'll go down as a winner for win rate over 15%. If it runs over 30, it'll go for that, 40, so on and so forth. And this allows me to compare the best place to put take profit. Now, let me give you a real example here. This is one of my favorite setups here. Total trades that I've tracked is 134. 90 have run for over 15%, 67% win rate for 15% right here. And then you can see the win rate for 30%, the win rate for 40%. And down here, I can type in a customized number as well. And the only reason why I'm able to put in these formulas and I'm able to calculate the net profit and the best place to put my take profit is because for every single one of these trades, I actually go through and I track the max percentage gain that I could have got from the entry. Now, the counterpart to that is you don't only want to track the max percentage gain that you could have got while in the trade. You actually want to track the max pullback price while in the trade and get the max drawdown in each trade as well, because this is going to allow you to create the best stop loss for your strategy. So let's walk through this example here. If I entered right here at the close of this candle at 701 and we zoom in a little bit more here, you'll see that this stock didn't immediately go up. We actually wick down and we come all the way down here. You can see the low up here is $6.61. So I would come right here. I would type in $6.61. Going to hit tab over. And I already have a formula in here that calculates the percentage that it would draw down. So you would have had to hold through 5% drawdown. You didn't immediately get rewarded here. And this is where a lot of people mess up, where they'll enter a trade. They'll get into a little bit of drawdown. Maybe they sell right here and then boom, they miss the big move. Always remember, we love small caps because of the volatility. But that volatility goes both ways. It's a double-edged sword. We get it to the upside, but we also get it to the downside. And I would argue that most traders that come in have this problem where they're actually trailing their stop loss way too tight on these small cap stocks, and they're getting kicked out before the big move happens. Comment down below and let me know if that's you. Now, since it's only 12:57 and this stock could continue to go up even higher from here, I'm going to go ahead and delete the max price reach currently right now because this stock could continue to run right now. I'm going to keep the max pullback price right now at 661 because this stock is all the way up at $16 right now. That is going to be the correct max pullback price. And then from there, the max drawdown was 5.7%. The next three columns is, was the second 5-minute candle green? Was the 1-minute candle trending green into breakout? And then the next one is, did the next 1-minute candle also close green? And as you can see, I've already filled this out as yes, yes, and yes. Let me show you exactly what this means. Let's start off with the 5-minute time frame before we zoom into the 1-minute time frame. So we've already confirmed that breakout happens right here at 7 a.m. So what I started to notice was what had a massive direct correlation to win rate and how far these stocks run is if we get continuation on the next 5-minute candle. So I started tracking that. Do we get continuation on the next 5-minute candle or do we not? It's a simple question. It's either yes or no. And so after we confirm breakout right here at 7 a.m., this next candle does close green. So I come in here and I put green. And then on my dashboard, what I'm able to do is I'm able to come in here and actually filter through. And then I can see like, okay, if the next 5-minute candle doesn't close green, like how does that affect win rate? And you'll see after it loads that it affects it greatly. You actually go from, like if you just took straight breakouts, which I don't recommend, it's only a 45% win rate. But if that second 5-minute candle closes green, it drops the win rate down from 45% to 30%. And that's over 1,908 total breakouts. I mean, that's a really good sample size to be able to know if something's definitive or not. So I'm super confident in saying that if that next 5-minute candle closes red after we've confirmed breakout, there's a very good chance that that stock is more than likely done for the day. All right. So after I put all of that in, the next thing that I track is the previous close. So I come over here to the previous close, and for the previous close, it's always 4 p.m. EST from the prior day. I go up here to the C up here, which is going to be close, which is $4.73. You can also go up here to your quotes widget, and right here, you'll be able to see previous close, which is $4.73. So for FGI down here on my Google spreadsheet, you can see it says 473. And then right here, I have the daily percentage gain at the original breakout level. And so that means at this level right here, of 629, this stock was up 32% for the day. And the reason why I started tracking that is because I wanted to know if that had a direct correlation to win rate or not. So if a stock is up 100% and then pulls back and then breaks out, is the win rate higher? Or if a stock only makes a 20% move and then pulls back and then breaks out, is the win rate higher? I will say out of all the things that I look at, that has had one of the lowest direct correlations to win rate. I really don't use that too often, but there are some new variables that I'm tracking where I do believe that is going to be super useful. So I do continue to track that. Now, after that, we have market cap and free float. And this has been one of the biggest revelations that I found is that market cap and free float with 100% confidence do have a massive direct correlation to win rate. And I actually stopped tracking all stocks that have over a 50 million market cap. And what market cap means, if you guys are kind of newer to the market, is just what the market currently values the company. Do they value it over 50 million or under 50 million? So for me, what I found is stocks that are valued over a $50 million market cap, they are way less likely to run for 10, 15, 20%. Like the win rate would drastically drop the higher you went up in market cap. And so for me, I just stopped tracking the ones that are over a $50 million market cap. And then right here for free float, same thing. Free float must be under 50 million. As soon as you get over 50 million, the chances of you getting 10, 15, 20% after a breakout drop drastically. Okay. So market cap and free float are both very important. You can easily see that on your quotes widget over here on Webull as well. So I go through and I put that in. And the way I do that, to keep it simple, I just put it into categories. And to be honest with you, I might end up changing this in the future because I guess it would be nice to know the exact market cap at the breakout level. And the reason why is because what I found, for example, for this setup right here for the Greenlight Special, the free float must be below 10 million. But I wonder, like if I went and put these in a category, could the free float be 11 million, up to 11 million or 12 million, or maybe 15 million is the real cutoff point? Whenever I first started tracking this, I was just like, we'll keep it simple. We'll do 1 to 10, we'll do 10 to 50, we'll do below 1 million. And then you can see I had other categories like 50 to 200 and so on and so forth. So I think I'm probably going to change that in the future where I track the exact market cap. If it's 32 million, I put 32 million. And then from there, I can kind of bundle it together and I can get a very legit cutoff point. Because right now my cutoff point is 10 million. But the real cutoff point may be 12 million and maybe 13 million. It may be more of an odd number. But currently right now, that's how I'm currently tracking it. After that, we have the dip percentage before the breakout. Another thing that I started tracking a little bit later on, I wasn't tracking this at first, but one thing that I'm really focused on right now is I already feel like I got a really good idea after tracking over 4,000 plus breakouts. I have a really good idea of when I have an edge on a breakout and when I don't have an edge. However, I know that there's bigger potential for max gains here if I can get in before the breakout occurs. So to start that process, one thing that I started tracking was the dip percentage before the breakout. So this is the breakout level right here. I want to know on average, how much are these stocks pulling back before they go and break out? So what I do is I take the top right here, right before that breakout level was set, and I measure it all the way down to where it bottomed out. So the way I do this is I just come over here to Webull. I go to the rectangle right here. I go to the very top of this wick, I pull it all the way down, and then at the top right here in the top left-hand corner, you'll see that that's a 36% pullback, which is exactly what I have right here. And for this, I just, round up. If it's 35.9, I'll put 36. If it's, 35.2, I'll put 35. So I round up and round down on that just to give me a really good idea of exactly how much these stocks are pulling back. I'll be honest with you right now, out of all the different things that I look at, I haven't found 100% way to really correlate this into getting in before the breakout. But again, I'm tracking some more variables where I think this is going to become very, very helpful for me. The next part is going to be the dollar volume on breakout. This is very important because in the small cap world, there will be stocks who have lower volume, where maybe there's only $5, $10, $15,000 going through every single stock or every single 5-minute candle. And one thing that I wanted to make sure is that there's enough volume for me to actually go in with a substantial enough position. So I started tracking the dollar volume on breakout. And the way I do that is I just created a custom indicator on Webull. Honestly, it's not that hard. I give this to all of my one-on-one students, and it'll give me a rough idea of how much dollar volume is going through the shares. Basically, it just takes how many shares were traded on that 5-minute candle, multiplies that by the average price, and then it gives me the rough dollar volume on every single 5-minute candle. So for me, the dollar volume on the 5-minute candle that confirms breakout, like this one right here at 7 a.m., it must be more than $50,000. If it has less than $50,000, I don't even want to touch it. For this specific one, it had $5.6 million in this 5-minute candle roughly that confirmed breakout. So I'll put that on my tracker here. And I have found a way to actually correlate this and get this inside of my trading. I call this a quickie setup, where the free float is between 10 to 50 million. And if it breaks out between the time frame of 9:30 to 11, what I found is that you can go for a quick 5% gain on confirmation of breakout. And currently right now it has, I believe, an 88% win rate on that. So super high win rate on that for a quick 5%. So this has unlocked a new setup for me that I wouldn't have had if I wasn't tracking the dollar volume on the breakout. Now, outside of that, I started tracking the country, and believe it or not, this does have a massive direct correlation. For example, on the Greenlight special, if you're trading this setup for United States, China, and Canada, the best take profit is going to be for 15%. So if we come over here to, I actually think I took the variable off. Oh, right here. So if we just get rid of other right here, then you'll see for 15% that our win rate is actually going to go up slightly right here to 67.65. And if I click on other right here, and then I type in 10%, we can compare 10% to 15% and take a look at how much more profitable 10% is for stocks outside of the United States, China, and Canada. I've tracked 32 of these, 21 have run for at least 15%, but 27 have run for 10%. And you can see the difference in net profit if you're trading with a $10,000 position size, 9,500 compared to 17,000. You're talking about unlocking an extra $7,500. Now, again, guys, I'm not saying you're going to get these results, but just kind of giving you a good idea of how much of a difference it can make by knowing where the best place to put your take profit is. And then on, like, for example, this is much more of a continuation setup. I don't even trade stocks that are from other countries for this specific setup, because on this setup, it's only good if it's from the United States, China, or Canada. Because what I found is a lot of these stocks from other countries, they don't get continuation. So a lot of times they're like quick pumping ups, where they get a quick move, but then right after that, they don't get any continuation and they end up going down. So that's something that's been very, very important that I've been tracking. All right. So as I scroll over here, time range, 5-minute percentage close above the breakout range, day of the week. These are just formulas. I drag these down. It's going to calculate that for me. I do want to go over the 5-minute close percentage above breakout. So what that means is right here where this 5-minute candle closed, how high is that compared to the breakout level? Is that 2% above the breakout level? Is that 3%? Is that 10%? And does that have a direct correlation to win rate? And one easy way to do it, I have a formula inside of the tracker that does it for me, but you can just drag this up and you can see that's about 11.38%. The exact percentage is right over here on the tracker at 11.45%. And what I found is that does also have a massive direct correlation to win rate. So if I come over here, so for example, Let's just go ahead and select all of these right here and then go to the 5-minute close percentage. You can see that I don't have selected 15% or higher. And the reason why is, from what I found, if a 5-minute candle closes 15% or higher above our breakout level, then win rate drops drastically. So you can actually see this win rate right now is currently 67%. So let's go over to the stocks where it did close 15% or higher. And you can see the win rate drops down to 52.3% and actually not even profitable at all. I would have no idea about that. I would just be guessing if I didn't actually track the data. And that's what this is really unlocked for me. So outside of that, let's go ahead and scroll over just a little bit more here. Over here on the right hand side, this is just like an extra strategy that I started tracking. Like if I got in at the second 5-minute candle close, so on and so forth, that'll get a bit more complicated. It's stuff that I explained to my one-on-one student. Right here, did it ever break out? Yes or no? Because what I started recently tracking are stocks that went and created a breakout level, but they never actually broke out. And the reason why I started tracking this variable right here is because this is going to allow me to know, out of the 20 stocks that go and create a breakout level throughout the day, as I get to collect more data, I'll get a really good idea of what percentage of those actually go and break out. And what is this going to allow me to do? This is going to allow me to create a better strategy where I can get in before breakout and be able to calculate what my win rate would be if I got in, when a stock pulls back 30% before the breakout, so on and so forth. I started tracking the time the level was set. So for example, right here for FGI, the time the level was set was 16:55, which was 4:55 p.m. EST. So if I just come back up here to FGI, you can see time the level was set was right here. I'm sorry, it was at 5 o'clock p.m. In after hours. And then time the stock bottomed out. The stock bottomed out right here at 5:10. So I put that there as well. And then from there, a couple more things that I started tracking was from level set to breakout. How long did it take? Because what I may find, and I don't know yet because I don't have enough data on it yet, is I may find that, for example, the longer a stock takes to go break out, maybe that increases win rate. Or maybe win rate increases when it just does a quick pullback and then breaks out. I don't have any definitive data on that yet. Just started tracking that here recently. I'm hoping to find some really good stuff with that as well. I'm also tracking from when the stock bottomed out to break out. So for example, here, let me delete my drawing. This stock bottomed out right here at 445. So not only tracking from when the level was set to break out, but also from when it bottomed out to break out as well, because that's going to give me a much more idea of like the velocity into the breakout, like how quickly are we going into breakout. So I'm tracking that as well. And then from the level set to the time it bottoms out. And actually what I found here, starting off, is that a lot of these stocks that are going to break out after they've established a breakout level, more than half of these stocks are setting the low within 20 minutes for the ones that go and break out. So that's something interesting. I don't have a big enough sample size to say that definitively yet, but it's looking promising thus far. So that's my entire tracking system. So now at this point, I'm going to go through every single one of these tickers and go through and input all of this data and information. I typically like to do this at market close every single day at 4 p.m. And that's how I go through and track the small cap, and I connect that on the back end to this dashboard. And that would take a lot more of a longer video to explain that entire process. But if you guys are interested at this point, click the link down below. If you're trading with over $10,000 in your account, you don't want to feel like you're gambling. You want to make decisions based off historical data. You just saw my entire process. If that resonates with you, click that link down below. We'll have a good chat and see if you're a good fit. With that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next video.